The Axios report says it obtained the classified cable where Israel expressed hopes that the new coalition government in South Africa would take a different approach to it and the war in Gaza, after Israel rejected that its actions amounted to genocide. The ICJ had issued several provisional orders on Israel's conduct, including on urgently needed humanitarian assistance into Gaza, and that it refrains from actions that violate the rights of Palestinians as a group, with South Africa of the view that those provisional orders have largely been ignored in Israel's continued prosecution of its war against Hamas in Gaza. The Israeli Foreign Ministry reportedly sent a classified cable to the Israeli embassy in Washington and all its consulates in the US, urging them to pressure South Africa that continuing its case would come at a heavy price, including efforts towards suspending trade relations. The cable urged Israeli missions to work with lawmakers on the federal and state level, in addition to governors and Jewish organizations, to put pressure on South Africa to change its policy towards Israel. Israel wants members of Congress to issue public statements condemning South Africa and threaten consequences that could see trade relations suspended. But South Africa's presidency has since indicated it intends to move forward with its case at the ICJ next month.
To provide facts and evidence to prove that Israel is committing the crime of genocide in Palestine. This case will continue until the court makes a finding. While the case is in progress, we hope that Israel will abide by the court's provisional orders issued to date.
It's worth noting that the US House of Representatives passed legislation in May that seeks to establish a process for a comprehensive review of the bilateral relationship between the United States and South Africa, claiming that Pretoria's foreign policy actions were inconsistent with its publicly stated policy of non-alignment, citing relations with Hamas, its pursuit of closer ties with the People's Republic of China and the Russian Federation. These relationships are among the key reasons the authors of the legislation argued that Pretoria's international relations undermined the national security and foreign policy interests of the United States. That legislation has not been taken up by the Senate and would need the US president's signature to become the law of the land. Two steps that for now appear remote. The report says Israeli diplomats in the US were asked to lobby for hearings about South Africa's policy towards Israel in state legislatures across the country, and were told to make their diplomatic activity in this regard as public as possible in the US press and on social media. Citing the cable, the report says Israeli diplomats were instructed to emphasize that the ANC had a chance to change course as part of the new government and pursue dialogue with Israel instead of boycotts and punishments. Shervin Bryce's SABC News, New York.